so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
faculty, parents, family, friends, and members of the graduating class of 1997. Good afternoon. It is with considerable pride that I welcome you to the 135th annual commencement of the Norristown Area High School. Today we are honoring the 260 graduates in the auditorium right now of the class of 1997. It is the days like today, as I look around the auditorium, that I am truly appreciative of the beautiful facilities that we have in the Norristown Area School District. At the same time, I am equally appreciative of the outstanding talent and expertise we have in members of our faculty and staff. Please take a minute with me and give a round of applause to our school board members who are with us today and our faculty and staff who have started serving these graduates when they were 5 years old and continued for the last 13 years through the singing of our national anthem just seconds ago. It is now that we review the history of this class, project into the future, and conclude with the conferring of diplomas on these graduates. Thank you.
Welcome, graduates, administrators, teachers, family, and friends. I'm glad that so many of you could be here today to share in the success of those students seated before you. The success that we, the class of 1997, share is the accumulation of 12 years of hard work. It seems like ages ago that we first started our education. These last 4 years, however, have flown by in the blink of an eye. It seems like only yesterday that we first walked through those doors. Remember that first day? Remember climbing up the mysterious stairwell 3, only to be greeted by the friendly teachers who were eager to help us find our new home or homeroom? Those first few weeks were filled with confusion as we attempted to adapt to this vastly different environment. From those zany 6 marking periods to the mind-boggling Saturday detentions, freshman year was filled with brand new experiences and adventures. As time wore on, we discovered where the elusive Room 600 was, learned that the administrative building was not really an alternative gym, and through the vigilant security guards learned the traumatic lesson that the front doors are off limits. Since that time, we have attended numerous dances where we have learned the Macarena, the choo-choo, and of course, we learned to churn butter. But dancing was not all we have learned, for through the vast myriad of school activities and athletics, we learned leadership, teamwork, and good sportsmanship while forming everlasting friendships. This class has seen a lot of change during its time here at Norristown. The 6 marking periods have been replaced with the more traditional 4 marking periods. Yes, those Saturday detentions have been replaced by the much more palatable administrative detentions, and our lobby is now adorned with the John Wanamaker Eagle. Bell bottoms and platform shoes are back in style. Beatlemania is resurfacing. Star Wars has made its return to the big screen. So maybe history does repeat itself. Maybe these efficient yet dingy lights are a sign of the past. Maybe future generations will have to suffer ancient computers, Saturday detentions, 6 marking periods, and yes, freshman swimming. This class has battled through adversity, demanding their voices be heard. This class is filled with leaders. When Senator Rick Santorum came to visit, was he faced with a flock of sheep? No. He was faced with a group of bright individuals who challenged him. When he took a controversial stand against women in combat, this class stood up to him, demanding equality in the military. Yes, this class is filled with remarkable individuals who are destined to shape the face of the world. We are not sheep to be tended to. We are the lions, tigers, and eagles who will make our futures great. This class has accomplished at Norristown what few other classes have. Through the hard work and determination of the newly formed Principals Advisory Committee, we were able to witness the first annual senior breakfast. Though the breakfast may not have gone as smoothly as planned, it was a step in the right direction. It was hopefully the first of many annual senior breakfasts, bringing together the senior class, motivating them towards success. During our time here at Norristown, this class has also been responsible for the addition of 2 new varsity sports, volleyball and ice hockey, while initiating the rise of the league sport of roller hockey, thus adding to the ever-accumulating repertoire of activities found here at Norristown. Activities which have enriched the lives of each and every student here at Norristown, from student councils, pep rallies, and dances, to the Omnium's attempts to increase cultural awareness. Those who became active were rewarded with unique learning experiences not possible through traditional teaching methods. We have grown and matured. Our He-Man and She-Ra dolls have been replaced by PCs and Sickle Me Elmo. Our favorite shows, the Snorks and Gummy Bears, have been replaced with the ER and the X-Files. We are changing, as is the world around us, but let us not forget our roots. Let us not forget who we are and where we come from. As we leave this school for the last time today, reflect upon the wonderful times we have shared in these halls. Remember early morning rides to school in the cheese wagon, early mornings in homeroom watching Eagle News, endless lunch lines, even longer chemistry labs, Winkle words, We Beasties, Telferian tidbits, film loops, all the teachers who have had a profound impact on our lives, and of course, our friends. Let us hold our heads up high, for we are Norristown's graduates of the class of 1997. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I too would like to extend greetings to our assembled guests. As high school seniors, embarking on our journey of life, we are constantly reminded that we are the future leaders of tomorrow. We, the young people of today, are expected to be the movers and shakers of tomorrow. For many of us, the seemingly burdensome responsibility is not an unwelcome prospect. Rather, it coincides with our own youthful dreams and ambitions that give us a desire to go out and change the world. The question which often arises, however, is how can I, as an individual, accomplish the monumental task of changing the world? The answer is actually quite simple. In order to be able to change the world, or anyone for that matter, we must be able to change ourselves. Actions speak louder than words. Therefore, our actions must be honorable in such a manner that we would be able to influence others in a positive way. Our personal development and maturation begins with the process of gaining experiences. For the past 17 or 18 years, we, under the guidance of caring parents, relatives, teachers, and other special people, have been given a solid background, which has enabled us to grow from childhood to early adulthood. Today, as young adults, delving into the adult world, we must continue to expose ourselves to new experiences that can broaden our horizons and give us worldly wisdom. Many of us have already taken the initiative to seek new opportunities in the form of colleges, vocational schools, and jobs. Over the next several years, these opportunities will form the foundation upon which our lives will be based. They will lead us into the different paths which we will choose for our lives. More importantly, however, we must use our life experiences to mold our characters. What is character? Character is the basis of who we are and what we stand for. It is what determines our thoughts and actions. It is also our most effective tool for influencing others. Today, we are constantly reminded of the deteriorating state of our society. Through the media, as well as our own experiences, we are exposed to the increasing amount of violence, racial strife, and an overall breakdown of principles and values. Oftentimes, we ask ourselves if we, as individuals, have the power to solve such problems. More often than not, we feel inadequate, weak, and unable to change the general trend of our society. That is only a misconception. The fact of the matter is, a major change in our society, and ultimately our world, can only result from small changes that we make within ourselves. We must live our lives in a manner that will inspire others to follow in our footsteps. Class of 1997, I challenge each and every one of you to look within yourselves for the answers to today's problems. As you continually develop your characters, do not forget to embrace honesty, respect, discipline, and perseverance. Be honest with yourself and with others. Respect your peers, your elders, as well as yourselves. Understand the importance of hard work and discipline. Lastly, learn to persevere through all of life's trials. Unfortunately, our Western emphasis on individualism has dimmed our concern for others. According to author Robert Bly, quote, "For some time now, our own spark of life has often been more compelling, more important to us than the flame of the larger group," unquote. Class of 1997, I leave you with one final challenge. I challenge you to go against the current trend, which is self-seeking and self-absorbent. I challenge you to start working for the good of others. Give back to the community through volunteerism. Spend time mentoring a young child. Stand by your friends through thick and thin. Perform random acts of kindness. Perhaps if we all choose to improve ourselves, we will be able to improve the world. Before I leave, I would like to leave you with the wise words of an unknown monk. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found I couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realize the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly, I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I could have made an impact on our town. Their impact could have changed a nation, and I could indeed have changed the world. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 1997.
Good afternoon. The key of knowledge was presented by the class of 1904 to be given to each successive class for 50 years. This period elapsed in 1954, and the key was retired. To perpetuate this tradition of the ceremony, A new key was presented to the school by the class of 1954. On behalf of the class of 1997, I would like to present this key of knowledge to the class of 1988. May your student... May your senior year be a good one.
On behalf of the class of 1998, I gladly accept the key of knowledge, promising to carry on the tradition next year. From the class of 1998, I would like to wish the best of luck and success to the graduating class of 1997. Thank you.
Good afternoon. In keeping with the tradition of class presidents, I would like to present a cap and gown to Kate McGlenigan, president of the junior class. However, before I do so, I would like to take a few moments and reflect back on our senior year. I can remember last year as junior class president, standing on stage and accepting this same cap and gown. I wondered just how quickly the time would pass before I was the one sustaining this tradition. Now, as I look back, it seems like almost yesterday. As I present this cap and gown to you, Kate, I would like you to keep in mind how rapidly it seems your senior year progresses. As you receive this, remember your responsibilities as class president and be a respectable example for your fellow classmates. Good luck to you and the class of 1998.
Thank you. On behalf of the class of 1998, I honorably accept this cap and gown and promise to fulfill the requirements asked of the senior class for 1998. And as a tradition, I promise to pass this cap and gown to the class of 1999. On behalf of the class of 1998, I would like to extend my congratulations to the class of 1997. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It is my honor to present the Bridgeport Nittany Lions Booster Club Award, who awards a graduating student who will be attending the Penn State University, and the recipient is Jennifer Shore. The Jeffrey J. Butler Memorial Scholarship Award, presented to a senior football player who has been accepted at a college, who is in good academic standing and has exhibited sportsmanship and team leadership. The recipient is Albert Zone. The Class of 1939 Scholarship Award, to the student who has consistently displayed good school citizenship and has completed plans for post-secondary education. The recipient is Albert Zone.
The Benjamin A. Cognato Memorial Music Scholarship is given to a student who must be in good academic standing and be a member of the Norristown Area High School Eagle Guard or Color Guard of the Eagle Marching Band. The recipient this year is Tracy Brandau. The Thomas and Melva Corley Award for Excellence is presented to a college-bound African-American boy and girl of excellent character whose leadership and academic achievements have been commendable throughout the high school years. The recipient this year are Jermaine Daly and Mamie Douglas. The Joseph A. Maraboli Senior Memorial Award is given to a college-bound senior with qualities of scholarship, citizenship, and loyalty. The recipient is William McCabe.
The Montgomery Orthopedic Award is presented to an outstanding student who desires to enter the health field, one who has shown the greatest interest and achievement during high school. The recipient, Miss Jessica Munson. The Mueller and Wister Fine Arts Award is presented to a deserving art student who has been accepted and enrolled in an accredited art school program. The recipient, Mr. Christopher Garofalo. The Lois Rapp Award is presented to a student who exhibits special promise in the arts, a student who has been accepted to and enrolled in a post-secondary program leading to a career in the arts. The recipients this year are in the fields of art and music. In art, we ask to return to the front of the stage Mr. Christopher Garofalo. And in the field of music, Miss Denise Ritter.
The next two awards go to our class valedictorians. The Dorothy V. Robbins Award to the class valedictorian with the hope that his abilities will be used to assist the handicapped, Nicholas Bianco. The Helen Bicking Schartzer Memorial Award to a worthy girl in good scholastic standing, Kaylee Park.
It is my pleasure to present the Student Services Award, which is presented annually to one of the top 3 students in the class who has also been very successful in student activities over the 4 years of high school. This year's award goes to Brian Carr. And last, but most important to me, we'd like to recognize the top 10 students in the class. The class, which I'm going to comment on in a few minutes when I make a few remarks, has done such a fabulous and outstanding job and has attained such high scholastic averages that the top 10 are including 11 individuals. And these are not in exactly the top order, but for the highest GPA, one of the valedictorians, Miss Kaylee Park. The other valedictorian, Nicholas Bianco. And as I said, these are not in the exact order from here through the 11th person, because there were some changes that took place as a result of final exams and the end of the year grades. However, these are the top 11 students, and the next 4 students are particularly exceptional. In most of the last 27 years, any of the 2, obviously the 2 valedictorians could have been valedictorian. The next 4 students in most years would have also been our valedictorian. None of them had more than 1 B in 4 years of high school. The valedictorians had straight A's. Jessica Munson. Laura Andraka. Brian Carr. And Tracy Brandow. Now, the remaining students and some after the top 10 or 11 had the misfortune of attaining 2 Bs. And some years these students also would have been valedictorian. Matthew Coons. Mamie Douglas. Olenka Domchewski. Stephanie Belosky. And Takia Hicks.
I would like to extend greetings and congratulations to the class of 1997 from the entire Board of School Directors. Congratulations to each of you. I turned 50 last month. And I must admit, I'm feeling more and more out of touch with today's youth. It seems like yesterday that I myself was using such words as groovy and far out. Come to think of it, it was just yesterday, but that's beside the point. The point is, my generation coined the term generation gap. Of course, at that time, I was on the other side of the gap. And it was easy to see how the older folks didn't understand us. Likewise now, we older folks are often baffled at what we perceive as the culture of today's youth. So, in an attempt to shed a little light on what's happening with the kids, I want to offer to you parents in the audience a short primer on some of the current slang in use today. I offer this in the spirit of improving communication and perhaps bridging a little bit that generation gap. Let's start with busting a sag. Now, I must readily admit I am at a total loss to understand the attractiveness of wearing one's pants so low on the waist that the boxer shorts can prominently be seen above the waistline. But this, I understand, is busting a sag. I would think it would be very uncomfortable. When I was in school, some kids were forced, for economic reasons, to wear their older brother's clothes, and they were ridiculed. Today, I guess they would have been right in style. The bottom of the pant leg has to drag along the ground as you walk and become frayed. This apparently adds to the look. I admit, I can't wait for this style to pass. But I'm afraid that's part of the attraction, in that we adults look at it and think, what on earth? Now on to some of the other slang expressions, some of which are easier to explain. Fat, for instance, is good or cool. One might say, that's a fat car. Or your shirt is really fat. I guess you might say fat is where it's at. Sup or zup is short for what's up. Sup. Salty is a particularly interesting word. I know I've been asked on a few occasions by my own kids, don't you feel salty? The nearest I can determine, this is something like embarrassed or humiliated. At a school board meeting a couple of months ago, Mrs. Custer was talking about the need for more special education classrooms in the district. I, however, doubted the accuracy of what she was saying and spoke to the contrary, but lo and behold, a week or so later, the administration announced that we would indeed need more special ed space for next school year. Boy, did I feel salty. I think cheesy is like that too, but I'm not sure. The next two words are pretty interesting, John and Jack. As near as I can tell, they are pretty much opposites. You see, John can mean anything, any noun, and Jack, of course, means absolutely nothing. Like if you can't think of the word you're going for, you can use John to fill in. I've heard it used in any number of ways. I'm going to the John. Pass me the John. There it is over there next to the John. Jack, however, is absolutely nothing. Parents, for example, could use the word this way. If you don't improve your vocabulary, son, your chances at a good career are jack. Then there's the word yo. Of course, yo has been around a long time, even before Sylvester Stallone. But now it can be used at the beginning of a statement as if to hail someone or to serve as a greeting. If one wishes to save syllables, I guess instead of good morning, one might just say yo. But also now, yo can be used at the end of a sentence following a pause as kind of an exclamation, as in, the Flyers sure did choke yo. One more expression I'll mention is probably the one I like least. Talk to the hand. Or, I guess that's pretty clear as to the meaning. Nevertheless, I wanted to go over some of these words and expressions and fads as an attempt at humor and to help us admit and understand that each generation has its own way of expressing themselves. And sometimes the more we as adults are repulsed by it, the more popular it is. I will close with two bits of advice, one to my generation, the parents, and one to our youth whom we love dearly. First, to us parents, we must talk to our kids, whether we speak in their lingo or ours or any combination thereof. To talk with our children extensively is to show them we care. To listen to them is to show respect. There are so many influences out there in our society which are so harmful and damaging. Too often TV, movies, CDs, and even peers communicate messages which are void of any morals or principles. Our kids need to hear from us what is right and what is wrong. If they don't get it from us, they may well not get it at all. And to our graduates, our daughters and sons, we love you, and we're so very proud of your accomplishments. In your future endeavors, whether they are social or career or further schooling, be principled in the choices you make. Don't take the expedient choice, the course of least resistance, or the quick fix. There's too much of that going around already. Ascribe to a higher ideal. Keep your beliefs and your faith and your principles non-negotiable. Thank you all for your courteous attention. Best of luck, and may God bless you all.
Prior to the presentation of diplomas, I have several remarks that I would like to make to and about the class of 1997. In a recent student survey requesting future plans from our graduates, 82% indicated that they were planning to pursue higher education immediately after high school. 15% planned to immediately seek employment and enter the workforce, while 3% will be going into the armed forces. I would like to congratulate the following 6 students who had perfect attendance for all 4 years of high school, and I'd like to ask each of them to stand. Please hold your applause until all 4 are named, or all 6 are named. Sarah Acker, Nicholas Bianco, Matthew Coons, Stephen Repas, Jennifer Shore, and William Vanderslice. While we have many students who only missed a day to visit a college or do a variety of other things. These students had no latenesses and no absences. Next, we have 2 Loeb Scholarships, which are full scholarships available only to Norristown area high school students to the Montgomery County Community College. These scholarships are given by Mr. Bernard Loeb, a graduate, in memory of his parents. This year's 2 recipients, and I'd like them to stand, are Melissa Rykowski and Jeffrey Jameson. Congratulations. And through the Montgomery County Foundation and the Abram Roebuck Family Trust, since 1989, 2 times per year, only available to our graduates, we present our Star Grant Scholarships. 34 students whose names I am now going to read need to report to the guidance office after receiving their diploma and turning in caps and gowns to receive their scholarships. So the 34 of you should report to the guidance office before you leave. And again, please hold your applause, and I'd like all 34 people to please stand. Laura Andraka, Tiffany Angstadt, Nicholas Bianco, Stephanie Belaski, Tracy Brandaw, Timothy Sicipio, Louis Mindone, Alenka Demchewski, Mamie Douglas, Heidi Ibrahim, Ricky Elliott, Christopher Garofalo, Megan Heslin, Takia Hicks, Noel Kennedy, Matthew Coons, Jennifer Lee, Joshua Lindeman, Michelle Lucas, Matthew McGran, Tina Morello, Jessica Munson, Kaylee Park, Chris Mon Quinn, Denise Ritter, April Rosado, Sharon Siraton, Bradley Seltzer, Jennifer Shore, Eric Schrader, Amy Smith, Lori Spielhofer, Matthew Weinrob, and Stephanie Wise. Congratulations. Needless to say, we have numerous scholarships that many of our students, approximately 45%, have earned from private institutions. They are not going to be named today by me. I wish all of you that have earned those scholarships the best of luck and congratulations for the additional support that you will now have for your higher education. Class of 1997, I will always remember your class leadership in both class activities and the school's accomplishments, including, but not limited to, and not only with your class, regional success in band and indoor guard, regional, state, and even national recognition in wrestling, national recognition in DECA competition. Of course, if it's national, we had it across the state and across the region. National yearbook recognition, regional service recognition, curricular recognition in the arts, technology education, the Bundestag Scholarship, mathematics, and national merit commended students. The accomplishments, all of which I have not named, and all of the students I have not identified, once again, of this class, place us with the top schools in the nation, if not the entire world. The greatest material remembrance of your class will be the class gift, which is the magnificent banner that hangs to the rear of the stage. I would like to thank each and every member of your class and Mr. Flexner for this contribution to be used with all activities in this auditorium. Thank you. I would also like to thank each and every one of you for many fabulous memories, many great successes, many fabulous PR efforts because of your efforts, that PR recognition that we got in the world. Most of all, however, I must say that I will never forget the class of 1997 because Of the top performance in academics, this year, as I've already mentioned, we declared 2 valedictorians, and I've indicated Kaylee had a slight advantage with 1 more weighted course than Nick. They both had straight A's. There have only been a couple of other students that earned straight A's in this school in the 27 years that I have worked here, and that doesn't include my 3 years, does not include my 3 years in high school. The next 4 students had 1 B. What is so amazing about that with Kaylee, Nick, Laura, Tracy, Brian, and Jessica, who you have already seen receive 1 or more recognition or give presentations to you today. What is so amazing is that I have never seen in these 27 years a group of students that have taken so many top-level courses. What you need to know is all the students that got this recognition and others that have not have taken 3 to 5 weighted courses, whether they be gifted, high achievement, or advanced placement for college credit courses to earn these recognitions. They did not take the easiest courses in the school. I have to finally say that I would like to commend each of you in this class for your academic achievements and ultimately for sitting here in this audience today. Congratulations, class of 1997. May each of you find success and happiness in your years ahead. At this time, I will ask Dr. Woodall, Superintendent of Schools, to come forward for the presentation of the class. Class, please rise. On behalf of the faculty and administration of Norristown Area High School, I certify that the graduating members of the class of 1997 have satisfactorily completed the prescribed course of study as required by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Norristown Area School District. I present the graduating class of 1997.
On behalf of the Board of Education of the Norristown Area School District, I am pleased to accept the class of 1997 and declare these eligible students to be graduated. Please be seated. First thing that I would like to do is to again offer congratulations to the graduates, but after this preliminary lesson that Mr. Persison gave us about the language of our day, maybe I need to say, yo, y'all. But we certainly want to honor you today. You have completed a course over a number of years. All of you have your own unique talents and skills and have your own opportunity to make this world a better place. We want to thank you for your accomplishments. You will be a role model for other students who go through our schools. You will be a role model for people in our society and in our community, because you have shown that you can take a task, stick with it, do a good job, and make your contribution to other people in this world. So we would all like to say thank you for what you have given us and to congratulate you. And now, graduates, I think we might stop at this point and turn things around and give you an opportunity to stand and to applaud your parents and all those who have helped you get to this day. Now it is my pleasure to again present to you the President of the Board, Mr. Precisely.
It is my privilege and pleasure to present a diploma for special recognition in obtaining the highest scholastic averages to the valedictorians of the class of 1997, Kaylee Park and Nicholas M. Bianco. Please come forward. Mr. Flexner will now award diplomas to the senior class officers.
Will those officers in the front please come forward? Jessica Munson, Janelle Horton, Stephanie Belaski, Jamila H. Winder, Lori Spielhofer, Matthew Coons, and Tracy Brandow. The class officers will now announce the names of the graduates.
Should I put this up a little bit? Is that too loud? I'll put it up a little bit. That's good, that's good.
Brian J. Carr, Jr.
Takia Shavon Hicks.
Olenka Domchewski.
Mamie Althea Van Douglas.
James H. Hickman III.
Darnisha Farrell.
Ji Hae Yu.
Francis Charles Tornetta.
Maurice C. Barfield.
Zakia Macedon.
Nicole Marie Nedelka.
Matthew Francis McGran.
William P. McCabe.
Andrea Lee Berkey.
Rebecca A. Hins.
Mark Wincheck.
Stephen Robert Repass Jr.
Anna M. Mancor.
Sarah Krista Acker.
Jason Sexton.
William T. Vanderslice III.
Shannon Lynn Harper.
Christy Turner.
Patrick J. Lark.
Robert Joseph Paoletti.
Kristen Lee Rich.
Karen Kidney.
Radamus L. Irizarry.
James Ridge.
Michelle Lee Claybos.
Jennifer E. Dowd.
Miguel Fuentes.
Earl James Catagnis Jr.
Susan S. Yee.
Christine Gray.
Dong Keen Tran.
Tuan Van Nguyen.
Karen Lynn Stabinski.
Kristen Ann Maniscalco.
Carl Johnson.
Nicholas Talone.
Melissa Marie Rakowski.
Gail Toto.
Christopher Sheridan.
Everett Baker.
Tara McDaniels.
Sophia Guerrero.
Michael John Iannozzi.
Ryan Andrew Coons.
Nicole McCrae.
Emily Dawn Dietrich.
Michael Shane Nelligan.
Philip J. Smith.
Lillian Fricker.
Sadia Mansur Mirza.
Jacob Andrew Colson.
David Majeski.
Colleen Casey.
Jody Corinne Yashin.
Daniel Stephen Pishak.
Ricky G. Elliott.
Christina Storty.
Lauren Arena.
Brian Daniel Santillo.
Andrew Shank.
Erica C. Grasafi.
Christine Walk.
Stephen DeVitas.
Mark A. Sessa.
Lori Woodson.
Erica Marie Warner.
Timothy Sicipio.
Richard Allen Schwartz.
Angus F. Hoy.
Jennifer E. Licata.
Michael Robert McCarthy.
Darren John Garvey.
Maggie Tadaro.
Karen B. Felino.
Paul Hume.
Matthew Chrisman.
Diana Teresa Dever.
Heidi G. Eberheim.
Kenneth Shorley.
Douglas Ziegler.
Michelle Kratzenberg.
April L. Rosado.
Christopher Lee Garrett.
Stephen J. Carbo.
Sharon Olivia Siratan.
Anthea Leanne Wilson.
David J. Aston.
Michael Robert Swartwood.
Anne-Marie D. Camillo.
Michelle Dorothy Lucas.
Christopher Garofalo.
Brad William Rigner.
Frislanda N. Sadejipur.
Tiffany Nicole Angstadt.
Joshua N. Lindeman.
Sean Michael McMorrow.
Denise Mary Ritter.
Allie W. Sprecher.
Joseph Elliott Lutz.
Adam Joseph Keeley.
Dara Jill Kuppengood.
Deborah Ann Golden.
Stephen E. Lauman.
Robert Weaver.
Megan Heslin.
Katie Ryan Sorrell.
Brandon William Law.
Juan Wu-Tang Patterson.
Alicia Artis Easton.
Tasheen Caressa Boynes.
Thomas J. Allen.
Lofton Thompson.
Rashiba Colbreth.
Courtney Irene Vinson.
William S. Gant.
Jermaine P. Daly.
Danielle Celeste Houston.
Joyce Rashonda Burrell.
Boyd H. Marston.
Joseph A. Gibson.
Delandria Renee Silver.
Chanel Cherie Weldon.
Dawad Hakeem Johnson.
Chrismon J. Quinn.
Erica Shea Watson.
Yolanda Flynn Cook.
Damon Scott Brantley.
Dietrich Bates.
Denise Monet Tuggle.
Tiffany Danielle Etheridge.
Joseph Calvin Cross.
Katie Fearon.
Julia Sanders.
Shakira Lanier.
Rajeen Lewis-Lusain.
Marcus W. Holland.
Melena S. Green.
Desha Renee Williams.
Ishmael Rahman Lamar.
Anaji Jamid Livers.
Naquilla Anisha Bay.
Janelle Erica Grantham.
E. Anthony Bradley.
DeAndre Jamal Pearson Baker.
Shanika Siobhan Davis.
Tanya Amelia Garnett.
Kevin M.J. Burke.
Eric S. Schrader.
Habiba King.
Khadija Jamila Moore.
James Ray Kelly Jr.
John Catagnis.
Lakia Chavon Johnson.
Tamia Shantae Robinson.
Nathan Nathaniel Jenneret.
Michael P. Geilinger.
Brenda Lee Brink.
Jamie Kelly.
Jose Alex Santiago.
James Ivan Runkle.
Antoinette Beth Del Pizzo.
Shawanda Boone.
Kenrick L. Smoot.
Travis F. Tobinas.
Jill Thompson.
Melissa Ann Myers.
Christopher Bruce Taylor.
Christopher Jude Stong.
Stephanie D. Santangelo.
Marlene Nichelle Bailey.
Joshua Leonard Whitley.
Patrick Wilfong.
Lakeisha Barfield.
Anita Watson. Darnell D. Flagg. Daniel Dietrich. LaShawn Hampton. Sue Lynn Dawson. Louis Min Doan.
Soleiman Sol.
Michelle Ciccarella.
April Lee Jenkins.
Michael M. McLeod.
Sean DeMarco Gilbert.
Tracy Elaine Smith.
Teresa Ann Campbell.
Francis Kozlowski.
Richard Springman.
Kimberly A. Barbish.
Stephanie Shamar Wise.
Jeffrey Jameson.
James N. Catania.
Nicole Sikowski.
Jennifer Ann Breezer.
Adam A. First.
Shane Van Buskirk.
Tina L. Morello.
Amy E. Grisafi.
David Allen Roan.
John Edward Jackson.
Nancy L. Strakowski.
Jennifer S. Lee.
Matthew D. Weinrob.
Harry Yakel.
Tammy Renee Reddy.
Faith Lynn Dunlap.
Vince Carrington.
Gregory Stephen Papanasasiou.
Melissa Marina Kirkner.
Mary Elizabeth Stenson.
Timothy Patrick McAvoy.
Albert Joseph Zone.
Jennifer M. Shore.
Amy K. Smith. Sean David Rogers.
Brian T. Reed.
Noelle Lorraine Kennedy.
Susan Marie Brzezowski.
Jeffrey G. Johnston Jr.
Andrew C. Petrozelli Jr.
Amanda Beitman.
Mia A. Rotundo.
Bradley John Seltzer.
Michael Joseph DeWeese.
Heidi A. Benton.
Franziska Schuster.
Thomas Moore III.
Gregory F. Santoro.
Jana Fonseca.
Christine Ann Graham.
Jeffrey Davis Klein.
Matthew L. Keeley.
Nicole Cariuano.
Laura Shara.
Joseph A. Knox.
George R. Foraker Jr.
Richard Anthony de Blasio.
Michael J. Volpe.
Michael Anthony Johnson.
Francis Russell Saylor IV.
Dennis Thomas Williams.
Jeremy Matthew Barr.
Jeremy David O'Neill.
Charles Ludwig.
Lorenzo Farrell.
Charisse Monique Harris and Joseph Horning.
Delanor Legal. scholarship in Germany. The class of 1997 salutes her.